What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys will help us get there. Alright, so this is an idea. Just throwing it out there because it's already been thrown out there. Thanks to you, Screen Rant. But you're actually brilliant in this one case, Screen Rant. You're brilliant. This Darcy and Jimmy Woo's perfect Marvel future is an MCU multiverse X-Files. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I was watching episode 4 of Wandavision, I was thinking just this same thing. And I was finding myself more interested in the interactions between these two than I was the story about Wanda anymore. Like I don't get me wrong, I enjoy WandaVision. I think that story is brilliant in itself. But it's just something about those two characters, these minor characters coming together, and just I don't know, creating this combination of just perfect chemistry, because they're so different, but then so the same they're both interesting. No matter if you love her or hate her, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Darcy in the Thor movies. I kind of felt like she would kind of have some great one-liners from time to time, but I'm just not. I never really got big into the Thor movies. Let me just put that out there too, for a number of different reasons. But I just feel like this would be the perfect use of these characters. Let me go ahead and read y'all what this article actually goes on to state. It says an X-Files style spinoff for WandaVision's Jimmy Woo and Darcy Lewis exploring the MCU's multiverse would be Marvel's best use for the characters in the future. On the job, the two quickly developed a fun dynamic that would be well suited for its own TV show. It could revolve around Woo and Lewis investigating bizarre incidents throughout the MCU, like the X-Files with a lighter tone, an idea first put forth by actor Stephen Sean Ford on Twitter. The Marvel Cinematic Universe non-vigilante characters often end up being forgettable or flat, but Woo and Lewis are notable exceptions. Darcy Lewis is a deadpan snarker and innovative thinker who is unafraid to take risks. Jimmy Woo, on the other hand, is a goofy everyman and staunch rule follower. Seeing the two of them try to crack the Westfield case has been enjoyable, not only because of the intrigue of WandaVision's world, but the pair's rapport. They work together well, but their mismatched personalities lead to fun moments like Woo taking Lewis's offering him some chips as an opportunity for an ultra-sincere confession of his hopes and dreams. It's just, I mean, I'll admit, like I said, when I was watching that episode, I was thinking to myself, you know what? These two need more airtime. I was thinking more like WandaVision and maybe, creating something off of them, kind of where they're going on these missions, discovering stuff in the MCU. But when this was talking about the MCU's multiverse, I mean, with Shield and with Sword and all of these, these organizations out there, and of course, you've got stuff coming from space, and we'll be seeing Mephisto soon in the MCU. There is so many different ways that a show about Darcy and Jimmy Woo could go. I mean, it could go from like X-Files with like the space stuff, and it also could go almost like Supernatural with Mephisto and what's going on along with that world. And of course, with the multiverse, I mean, it'd be almost like Sliders. It could, to me, those are three great shows that it could be like X-Files, Sliders, and Supernatural. You combine those three shows together, and you have like the perfect MCU show. Don't make it 30 minutes long. Make it an hour-long show where that we get to see them just go out there and just solve like these weird, strange mysteries. And I don't know. I just don't think now that the cat's out of the bag, that these characters work so well together, and they've garnered so much attention in that short period of time, in that one bit of an episode that really was supposed to have been about, looking at it from Sword's point of view, about Wandavision, which everybody's been crazy about already, and then somehow it's turned completely around because of the chemistry, because of these two characters, and they weren't even on screen for that long together. But it was enough to see that they have to do something more with these characters. It would be a waste if they don't. Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. I'm going to want this show more than I'm going to want anything. I mean, I just think this would be, if you wanted to get normies into a show, that would be the perfect show to get them into this show, into the MCU world, because it doesn't have to be comic booky in any kind of way. It could just be, the strange mysteries that just happen in this world. And, of course, it could be Marvel related, but, it doesn't, it's something that people that aren't necessarily into comic books or into the MCU movies could look at and they go, you know what? That's kind of an interesting concept, these two going around and solving these mysteries. I mean, there's few shows that are like that do bad. Let's face it. How many iconic shows just have that one narrative, whether it's a cop show or whether it's something like Supernatural. I mean, just where they're just going around. I mean, and solving stuff. I would even add another aspect to it. American Gods is kind of like that. When American Gods is at its best is when it's doing a road trip. Like when you've just got Mr. Wednesday and Shadow Moon together, or Laura Moon and Mad Sweeney together, and they're just driving and they're just talking and they're just uncovering these weird plots around them. Like that's when they're at their best. I'm a huge Supernatural fan. I love that show. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. And we've done so many videos over it, and I know a lot of people are being like, you criticize it a lot. I only criticize stuff I love. That's what we do here on Rants or Us. We expect the best out of even shows that we adore. And we do adore that show because that show was off, like it was just in another world to me compared to what majority of CW shows are. It kept my attention for 15 years, for goodness sakes. The Flash maybe kept my attention for I don't know, 3 seasons. So there's a lot of great things that could come out of this series. I just feel like if you wanted to get your average person to watch an MCU show, Darcy and Jimmy Woo would be the perfect. Put them in the X-Files related world. Let them go off and just solve mysteries and be snarky together. And, let's do some magic tricks and, some really corny magic tricks. And, have a good laugh or two. That's one thing I've kind of enjoyed about WandaVision. Is there sometimes with WandaVision that when they're in that sitcom related world that I just turn my brain off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to overthink this show. I'm going to just enjoy this show. How many shows are like that anymore? It's just few and far between. They try to be too unique. Like, let's go back to the basics. Let's have a show. Let's have a Darcy and Jimmy Woo X-Files related show. Come on. Come on, Marvel. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking is just make that show. You can make all these other shows that you want. You can Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, whatever. Loki's going to be kind of similar to that. So, let's see if it works with Loki. But I really think it would work with Darcy and Jimmy Woo. I'd be excited to see it. Let me know, guys, if y'all would be excited to see a show like that as well. Like, now that I've seen it and now that I want it, that's all I'm going to be thinking about during the rest of the season of season 1 of WandaVision. Is how much I wish this was a spinoff of it. And if it's not a spinoff, I'm going to be really disappointed. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. And as always, take